All right, before you say anything, this whole video is kind of out of themed because it's about Marvel and I got DC stuff everywhere, and then I'm wearing a Hogwarts, whatever. This is how I would put X-Men in the Marvel universe. Hopefully you like it. First things first, subscribe to the channel. Leave a like if you like the video. Let's get into it. So, X-Men was under 20th Century Fox, and you know Disney has bought out Fox. Mostly all those movies with Deadpool and X-Men as well. Of course, other things. So, I love X-Men. X-Men is probably the real reason why I even like Marvel. And it was actually most of the characters that I was actually more familiar with than I was with Iron Man and Hulk and all them. You know, I'm pretty sure anybody will probably have the same opinion. I'm basing this introduction off of one of my favorite X-Men shows, which was X-Men Evolution. And I really feel like if you're a fan of X-Men, it probably wasn't your favorite, but I like the show. And I don't know, it's because I grew up watching the show like every day on WB Kids. It used to come on Saturday. It was like my little Saturday morning cartoon. I think it came out early 2000. I mean, I think it started like real early, the beginning of 2000. Show was basically about the X-Men, but they were in like high school, and they started out young. Some of the characters already knew each other. I think like Cyclops, Jean, Storm. Storm was old enough. She was already an older woman. She wasn't really in high school. She kind of excludes from this. Professor Xavier, all of them. I think they were the core, but everybody else was new. So when you had like Rogue and Spike and Nightcrawler, like all those people were people they were just bringing in. Obviously you had Magneto, had his crew of mutants as well, and they were obviously the bad guys. Most of the guys that he recruited always had bad intentions anyway, so you know they kind of was painted as bad. But whatever, just based off of that alone, this is how I would introduce them into the Marvel universe. Since you have Spider-Man, which I feel like Marvel should probably just make Spider-Man your main guy after a while, because he is the youngest. Somehow in that movie, you can introduce them like that, where they're in high school. And yeah, mutants, they've been kind of taught to be quiet. So I guess in a way that you have to introduce that these kids that have these powers, you know, the reason why you haven't seen them is because they needed to be quiet, because if they don't, then, you know, they get caught or something happens to them and all that other stuff. And also I'm doing this before Endgame, so I don't even know if Endgame would probably implement this idea of how the X-Men gets introduced. I like the X-Men being in high school because it gives them a chance to grow, and also you get to play with, you know, them being a younger group, except for like Wolverine and Storm. Obviously those people were already old enough, but I think it just kind of gives you time to evolve these guys. And also you give them high school, which means they could be like 20, the actors could be like 20 something, and they could play like high schoolers for the time being, and then they can grow up since they already grown, and it's like bam, you have the next 10 movies to make with them. I guess the whole point of this is the fact that I like to see them grow, and I think that's the best way for me to introduce. And you already have a platform that has done that before, and I liked it. I liked the fact that it was kind of young and you can grow with them, and then you could also introduce newer characters. I think in Evolution they did that in like season 2. Was it the Human Torch in that? So they also had a flaming guy in there too, but I don't know what his name was. And I guess you could do them a lot older, maybe a little older, but it doesn't explain why they were so quiet for so long. But once again, Endgame may totally debunk that explanation. Putting them in high school with Spider-Man, I feel like that'd be kind of a cool way of introducing them. Maybe you see the guy with glasses, you know, like, you know, that's Cyclops. So you see him with the red shades, and he's just like maybe get into some scuffle outside, and somebody takes off his glasses, and you know he does the little "come on guys," and he's trying to hold his eyes in and whatever, and Jean comes up, and it's like, you know, that's the way to introduce them, because Peter done caught them and he tried to save them and help them out, and we eventually figure out that, oh yeah, that'd be great. X-Men in Spider-Man, just have them two. Just have them two. That's just mine. Since you got Spider-Man in the high school setting, I think that's the best way to introduce them. To me, I'm pretty sure they can find a better way. I'm just saying to me that would be a cool way to introduce them, just because I'm more familiar with Evolution. But yeah, that's how I would introduce X-Men into the Marvel Universe. Let me know how you would introduce X-Men to the Marvel Universe in the comment section below. And if you like this video, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. And also, Marvel, if you're like looking for another Marvel character or something, you need some bodies for the X-Men franchise that you're gonna start building up, and you need an extra guy, I could be Iceman. I'm just saying, like, I could be Iceman. I mean, yeah, let me do the Hollywood workout, and I'll get that cut. So when I'm in that all blue, people be like, ooh, that guy right there, he's Iceman.